Stephanie Phillips and Simone DeMeo weave a killer take that sees Harley Quinn become Gotham's own Hannibal Lecter to Johnathan Crane's Will Graham, as the woman aids the magistrate's finest while they hunt Gotham's vilest rogues. I think it is safe to say that in one issue, Stephanie Phillips has delivered my favourite take on the main canon Harley Quinn, giving her a really interesting new story to tackle, and one that's thankfully pretty much void of all connections to Joker. It also means that Harley is free to forge a new path entirely her own, and right off the bat we see that with her using her psychology skills, along with her knowledge of Gotham's rogues, to stop them. I thoroughly enjoyed the Hannibal overtones this story has, as well as partnering Harley with Johnathan Crane, a character we haven't really seen much of lately, so to give him a sort of spotlight and a supporting character role is really great, and I'm really interested in his arc involving Black Mask, since he seems intent on capturing Black Mask for reasons we don't fully yet understand. Black Mask also making an appearance has me wondering if this will continue on the story left over from Tom Taylor's Suicide Squad, since Harley has good reasons to want to go after Black Mask after he killed Deadshot. Simone DeMeo's art was really quite wonderful, and the first Future State book that actually feels like it's in a proper future. While the other books have had things that do make it look like it is in the future, Simone went all in on his cool, larger than life designs for a city and the characters. I love what he did with Gotham here, how it's kind of all made up of like neon signs and just everywhere is just an advertisement, and it really makes it feel like something out of Blade Runner. His panel layer and use of depth of field was really pleasing to look at, as well as how he played with perspective with many of the scenes, with lots of low angles looking up at our characters. It was really quite interesting and a bit unique compared to anything I've seen before. Future State Harley Quinn issue 1 was a damn good start over for Harley, and something that was sorely missing from her main canon version of the character. I enjoyed her becoming a Hannibal Lecter type character and relying on her past life skills rather than things she picked up from Joker, which in turn helps her rid herself of the villain's influence over her. I cannot wait to see where her story leads, and hopefully something similar to this can spin out into Infinite Frontier. I'm going to give this issue a 10 out of 10. Future State Harley Quinn issue 1 finds Harley battling a group of peacekeepers in the depths of Gotham, freeing herself from the men and trying to escape when the giant mech suit wearing peacekeepers arrive. Realizing her baseball bat won't do the job this time, she tries to talk the peacekeepers down, but they arrest her, and in the present, Dr. Johnathan Crane finishes up reciting off her rap sheet. Wondering when Joker isn't around to protect her and it's just her alone, who is Harley Quinn? Crane wonders if she wants to know what he thinks, knowing the woman is scared, and without her usual fanfare, she's adrift. Crane doesn't want to cast any aspersions on the woman, properly introducing himself, knowing that they have met in his former life, but he has since given up the Scarecrow mask, knowing he once hid behind it to spread fear amongst the city, but he was the one who was afraid. He knows once the magistrate came to Gotham, however, that all changed, and once Batman and the masks all went away, he began seeing the error in his ways. Johnathan enters the cell with Harley, wondering what it is that frightens her. Harley is scared this monologue is going to go on for too long, as Johnathan tells her that she is there because of her knowledge of Gotham and it will be useful, and despite her light dimming much, Crane thinks that she'll still be of some worth. He activates a monitor with a file on Black Mask, but knows that might be a little bit too difficult for Harley, so he'll start her off with something easy, showing her Professor Pig's file, finding him quite the delusional, dangerous killer who has murdered many a peacekeeper, all to feed his neurosis and hallucinations that make him rearrange the body parts into some monstrous art. Crane isn't sure what Harley sees in these killings that he doesn't, but if she helps them, then her jail time will be much more enjoyable. Harley isn't too impressed with what Crane offers, causing the man to leave, knowing that her accepting or rejecting the offer makes no difference to him. Harley tells him that Pig is proud of his work, but won't say anything else until her restraints are off, promising that she will tell him how to catch Pig. Crane says that she's only alive because no one views her enough of a threat to warrant killing, and she should be grateful for him and know her mediocrity is what saved her. He demands to know what Harley knows, so the woman says that Pig takes officers each time they go looking for him, and he sends them back all Frankensteined up, which means he wants Crane and the others to see his work, thinking he's creating some type of art. Harley goes into detail on what Pig is doing, knowing his OCD, hallucinations, and maybe some childhood trauma are fueling his fascination fascination with authority, and it's all coming together in some deep-rooted self-loathing. She knows his drive for perfection is ruling him now, and he's desperately trying to achieve it, but cannot. She tells Crane that it's time they should make Pig come to them, so they should plaster his work all over the news and credit him for it, since this will make Pig think that they are laughing at him. Later on, Crane admits he was dubious of Harley's plan working, but it did, as he shows her Pig's mask, telling the officer with them to remove her restraints, reminding her that she will be killed should she step out of line. She wonders what she has to do to get some new clothes and fresh air, but Crane is only happy she wants to cooperate, wanting to go to their next target. Crane agrees to Harley's terms for new socks as he spins up the file on Firefly, telling Harley all about Garfield Lynn and how he's been setting fire to buildings at random. Harley tells him to give Firefly a target, something Crane has already thought of, disappointed in Harley since he thought they were making progress. Harley says that she's serious since everyone knows Firefly's real identity because he went and burned down every place he ever had any real sentimental connection to. She also has an idea regarding how to prevent the Peacekeepers from being killed, telling them to offer up an orphanage to Firefly since he grew up in one, and announcing one is reopening would be the perfect target for the man. She also states to have it guarded by cops dressed in firefighter uniforms. Getting distracted regarding the number of arsonists Gotham has, Harley gets back on track, saying that with the firefighters' uniforms they should be able to withstand the heat Firefly's weapons put off, allowing them to shoot at Firefly for longer and destroy his jetpack, which will then in turn allow them to arrest him. Again, Harley's plan works and the villain is taken down, with Crane's men happy it did, but knows Firefly is no Black Mask. Crane becomes enraged at the mention of his name, taking his leave as the soldiers talk about Black Mask and how Crane has failed multiple times to catch him. One of the guards asks if his partner knows who the doctor was, telling his friend that it was Scarecrow, which surprises his partner, but then he says he can see it in him, knowing there's something behind his eyes. Crane goes to see Harley, letting her out of prison, finding her plans quite impressive, but these were just appetizers. But now it's time to move on to the entree. Elsewhere, a Black Mask wearing thug holds up a convenience store, taking them for all of their money. As he leaves, he is cracked in the head by someone, knocked out, and later awakens surrounded by other Black Mask wearing people, who tell him the mask isn't some toy for his petty crimes. The real Black Mask says the mask is power and they aren't clowns. The thug says it won't happen again, and Roman knows it won't as he blows the man's head off, knowing that they will never forget why they wear the mask.